Check, check, check. Hello. Okay. Can you hear me? No. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Check, 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 check.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. I see a
Oh,
background.
there we go.
There we go. How we doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good.
It helps if I actually pull the camera out of the computer so that the camera can actually see something.
Okay. You have a separate camera? Or is this a camera on a laptop?
Well, let's see here. I am apparently having audio problems.
You can't hear me?
It's me. It's on my side, I think.
I can hear you just fine.
Uh,
Hi, Steve.
Okay, now I heard that really loud.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's weird.
I can't hear Steve, but I don't know if he said anything.
I am apparently having audio issues. I keep getting little pop-ups that say my audio is not working.
Okay. I'd say that's a hint.
Yeah, I don't get it because it looks like it's working. So,
I can hear you fine.
yeah.
I'm not hearing Steve.
I'm not sure Steve has said anything. I'm not sure Steve can hear us.
I think he probably
I couldn't. For some reason, it popped up with the Zoom window over the join with audio window.
Yep.
So, meh.
Yeah, it whatever they have changed recently. Have you upgraded the software recently?
Not real recently. I'm running. What am I running? I don't know how to find that out now.
It's back on the original window, and you go down to you click on your username, and you go down to I think it's check for updates, and it will tell you.
I'm using the absolutely last minute update, so
Yeah, me too. I just did it right before the meeting.
I'm on 5.17.1, 5.17.1.
I am on 5.17.10.
I'm on 5.17.3400 and something or another.
Huh? We're all different. We're all
Well, I
different.
don't know that they don't come up differently depending on which operating system you're using. You're probably on Linux Mint. I'm on
Yeah.
Ubuntu. Steve, you on Linux Mint or what?
I'm on Mint, but I'm on their download page, and for Ubuntu, Debian, and Mint, all of them show as version 5.17.10, 3512,
3512. Yeah.
3512.
I have 3418, I believe.
Well, you could update.
I updated about 10 minutes ago. So
Wow.
I update from the Zoom download page. So
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
okay.
The well, this update, I just did it probably about 10 minutes ago too, maybe 15 minutes ago. Anyway, I just did it, but it reset some of the settings, and it's like audio doesn't want to play nice now, and I think I've got that worked out. I can hear everybody now. So I wasn't hearing Art for a while. I wasn't. So I don't know.
I
Anyway,
can hear you both just fine.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just noticed it got rid of my background. Weird.
It did.
So
Yeah,
I haven't updated for a while.
it's doing weird stuff again. Well, for a long time there wasn't an update, and then all of a sudden there's an update. So I don't know what they've changed.
I'm really surprised that it doesn't install a repository
I know,
so that it just auto updates when you do your updates.
because that would make sense.
I wonder.
Or even giving you a PPA or something, just some way to do it automatically.
Well, a PPA installs a repository, doesn't it?
It's like a baby repo.
Yeah, it's not. I guess PPAs are not official.
Really? Okay.
They are like private repositories or something like that. But most of them are fine. I guess Ubuntu had discovered a couple of them that were trying to install some malware or something in there. But yeah, I don't know. I think I showed you guys my new toy last week, didn't I? The new radio.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The handheld.
Yep. The uh the one that I was trying to get CB to come in so I could listen to the truckers.
Did it work? Were you able to get it to work?
Pretty sure I've got the wrong antenna. The antenna is tuned for 144 and 440, and that radio has a real problem with stuff outside of what the antenna is tuned for. So
Doesn't have a good matching network, or what?
no, it really doesn't. It's well, the radio was designed to work with the 2 meter 440 band, and just because it can do other things doesn't mean it should do other things.
Okay. Well, with the price, you can't be too picky there.
Well, I'm not complaining. It just means I'm going to have to find like a BNC antenna and then get an adapter to that reverse SMA connector. And it's not like I want to transmit. I just want to listen. It's, you'd think just an antenna should do it, but it's pretty picky. I replaced, like, it works really well with the stock antenna, which is beyond bizarre because the stock antennas on those things are usually junk. But I replaced it with a good antenna, and it refused to receive FM radio broadcasts. Absolutely refused to receive. I put the stock antenna back on it, and it was fine. It was perfectly happy. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, but okay. But yeah, I read in a couple of forum posts that other people have noticed the same thing, that it's kind of picky about what antenna it has on it, especially if you're trying to do something that wasn't designed to do. So, still a fun toy. Still well worth the $20.
Yeah. You certainly can't argue with the price.
Yeah. And if you just absolutely break it, you're out $20.
Dropping a pizza makes you feel bad, but you go get another pizza.
You go get another
Yeah.
pizza. Yeah. Yeah, but now that I've got all three models of this particular radio, I think I would spend an extra $5 and get the original, because I just think the original is just a hair better than the other two. So it's worth spending the extra $5 for something that's just slightly better.
Doesn't come with an antenna at all?
It I don't know. Have you ever bought like a Chinese radio?
No.
Okay.
But,
Their antennas are usually a little bit more than dummy loads. And yeah, this one, the antenna is not a great antenna, but it wants to work really well with this radio, so I'm not going to argue with it. I've got, let's see if I could get it. See, I've got a nice flexible antenna on this cheap radio. That is 2 foot long. And it really makes this cheap Chinese radio work really, really well. But I plug this radio onto, or this antenna onto the other one, and I can't get the FM broadcast. Go figure. With this antenna, they call this a tactical antenna. I don't know why. I guess because it folds. It is not marked. It is supposed to be 10 for 240, 2 meter and 440. And it is actually a name brand Ambry antenna.
well, it's got a little ballast there at the bottom of it, doesn't it?
Yep. Yep. And that's actually replaceable.
Really?
Yep.
That's
So-
interesting.
So they make other ballasts for other frequencies, and you can use of course, they would rather sell you the entire antenna than just the
ballast.
ballast. But I found this antenna on AliExpress, and I was really skeptical because it was like $3, and I was like, there is no way they are sending me a real Albry antenna for $3. Sure enough.
So that upper folding part, is that just like a tape measure kind of a thing?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. You could fold it. Sometimes you could get it to stay in different.
Yeah, looks like it's basically a tape measure with a connector on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Military uses that for old radios.
That's probably why they call it a tactical antenna, because it's similar to what military would use. I've seen people fold this even further down, but
I'm fairly certain that the U.S. military, independent of service, probably doesn't buy it for $5.
No, it is the $782 tape measure antenna when Uncle Sam's paying.
well, it's probably not a Chinese brand antenna to start with.
Yeah. That was a
Yeah,
big.
the military ones that I played with were like 4 layers thick at the bottom, and one layer would go up 2 feet. The next would go up 4 and 6 and 8 for the very end, and a single rivet where they all came together, and they were in a little slot so that you could still roll it up. They were kind of neat. They worked well.
Yeah. Yeah, the ones the military ones I've seen were like that, where it's more sections. More sections can be folded or rolled. I've got
But I don't think that was part of tuning. That was just so when you ran into a tree, you didn't break it.
Yeah. I've got a old ladder line antenna that rolls up into a nice compact size too. That one doesn't work too well anymore. It used to work really well. I think the connector got wet. I think it started to corrode on the inside. I had it hanging in a tree for many years, and I think my tape seal thing that I had put on it finally gave out, and it just stopped working. But I could roll that up to, it was about that big, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
This is another Chinese radio, Bofang UV5R, that I mean, these things are crappy radios, but for a long time you could get these were the ones to buy, especially if you were going out camping or whatever, or going kayaking or whatever, and if it fell in the lake, $15, who cares? You
weren't going to dive in after it, huh?
Yeah, well, they're not waterproof, they're not water resistant, they're not They're not nothing. They're barely a radio. But when the other one came around, and it turned out to be very hackable and a whole lot of other features for about the same price. I mean, it became the cheap radio to go and buy. So nobody really wants these anymore because these things are horrible. They work, but the other radio is I mean, it's a fun radio to play with. And it's this thing's not really all that intuitive about, setting up your repeater channels or anything. You can do it, but it's just better to program it from the software and get everything programmed first. You can do it from the keypad, but it's not intuitive. That other radio that I got, that it's an intuitive radio. Couple of the menus don't make sense, but once you know what they mean, like the volume or the VOL, which is actually the battery capacity, but everybody would assume that means volume. Once you know what it means, it's fine. And it's fairly intuitive. I mean, if you want to set up your repeater offsets, you go to the offset, which makes perfect sense. You put in what the offset should be, and you want to set up your tones or whatever. It's all fairly. In fact, I don't even know if there's software to program those. I've just programmed those with the keypad, so much better. But this is not my only forte into cheap Chinese radios. What else do I got back here? Back behind the monitor. This one does APRS,
which is
automatic. Automatic packet service, or sometimes automatic position service. So it's got a GPS in it. It'll send your GPS location when it gets a lock.
The FCC knows where you're at.
Everybody knows where I'm at. That one was a little bit more expensive. That one, I think it was $179 when I bought it. And no, I need to charge it. You can send messages with APRS. You can do all kinds of stuff with APRS. So I guess it really kind of depends on. And there's another Bofang radio that was $20, $15. But this one will do $220.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually fairly decent at $220. So this third-party antenna is $220, 2 meter, $220, and $440.
Really?
Yep. So I don't have to mess around with changing antennas and whatever.
Is anybody on 220?
I hear somebody every now and then. It's not as active as some of the others. This is what you can get from APRS, so I'm right. Sooner or later, this radio will get the GPS will get a lock and it'll send, and I should show up right in here somewhere. But there's a weather station. Nope, that's a WindLink station. Oh, there's a WindLink. Okay. There's a weather station that tells us what the temperature is.
Is there an airport there, or why would they have an?
Yep. Amateurs just, we play with weather equipment.
Okay, so you're saying these are hams that have weather stations? Okay.
Okay, this one, let's see. This one here, KM8N, that looks like it's a ham call sign.
Yeah.
And this one here, FW1116, is a citizen weather observer. So
Okay.
they can get into the APRS system as well. They don't need they go through a different process to do it. They don't transmit. They're doing it through the internet.
What happens if you click on that show weather button?
Oh, where do we see a show weather?
The two lines under the pink line. Oh, cool.
Yeah. It gives you history.
A history.
What's the big spike there? What's
we had
Rain.
on the 28th, we had a lot of rain.
So is that
was
0.2 inches.
That was tornado day.
Yeah, I saw something on the Cincinnati channels that said you guys had someplace in central Ohio had gotten bad tornadoes.
Yeah. Apparently, the Air Force Museum apparently got hit by a tornado. Lost a couple planes. Right, Pat. Yeah.
At Right, Pat. Wow.
So this. Let's see if I actually show up.
Do you have a tornado warning siren in your area?
I do. We do. And it's only a half a block away.
Oh, okay. So you get it full blast.
Yeah, it's I can hear it inside the house when they go and test it.
Well, the one in the Milford area, they do the noon on Wednesday thing every week.
Yeah. I don't think I'm getting it. Probably because I need to charge the battery. It's probably not transmitting full power. So I don't think I'm getting into the system.
Oh, if the signal's too low, you think you can't break into the system?
Well, the problem, if you look around in my general area, there are no other hams doing APRS. In fact, Franklin, there's not a whole lot of hams in Franklin in the first place. So the closest that I could get is here in Middletown. They've got an APRS digipeater, which is basically a repeater, for APRS for, and it is 6 miles, 7 miles away, and I can get into it, but I'm thinking this isn't transmitting full power because the batteries. I can hear it trying to transmit, but I'm not getting the acknowledgement back or anything, so I don't think it's getting into the digipeater.
Now, do those things have replaceable batteries in them, or do you throw it out when battery goes bad?
So this company that sold this one, they do sell a replaceable battery for it, but they don't make this radio anymore, so getting a replaceable battery. In fact, when I bought this radio, they weren't making it anymore. This is like kind of weird old stock that was sitting around. So they did sell a battery for it, but good luck getting it. It's kind of hard to find now.
So the batteries are not standardized, and I take it it's like the old days with laptops. Basically, every laptop had a separate design.
Yeah. So the Baofangs do share a well, for the most part, they share a common battery. So you can get but the cost of the battery, I've looked at the cost of the battery. It's just as cheap just to buy another Baofeng and be done with it. The other radio, the Qshans, they have replaceable batteries, but $7 for a new battery, that's a third of the cost of the radio. So,
well, are those polymer, or are they lithium ion? What are they?
these are lipos.
Okay. So they should last for a while.
Yeah, these are lipos. 7 volts. And this one's a lipo. And really it's should be easy enough to 7.4 volts. I mean, it's the same voltage as, these. So you probably could, mess around and wire it up so that it take the back off of this and get it to work. This says it's 2,500 milliamps hours. I'm pretty sure this said 8,000. 1,800. Okay, I was wrong. 1,800. See, the terminals are there on that, and they're here on this. So I don't know. I don't know.
You'd have to jury rig them somehow or another to.
Yeah, I don't know how hard it would be to run some wires out, solder some wires to it. But they are what they are. this radio, this APRS radio, it does have some U-ring gaskets or O-ring gaskets. They at least tried to make it a little waterproof. They didn't do a great job at it, but they tried. These Bowfangs got nothing. Drop them in the water, they're dead. You're done. Pull it out of
So
the
on
water.
that website, the aprs.fi,
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to figure out what the symbols mean. There, I've got a black diamond for a with a D in it for 88 IOU-B.
The black diamond. That is usually signifying a digital station. Pure digital.
Okay.
So APRS is more of an analog. It's digital, but it's more of an analog. The digital stations are they've got a codec and whatever.
WX is weather.
Do I?
WX is weather.
Yeah.
You got a red diamond with a W in it.
That
Wind
is
link.
a wind link. If you click on the icons, they will usually tell you what they are. Or at least generically what they are. That's what I saw a red W in Springboro, and I was quite surprised because somebody's got a WinLink packet running in Springboro, which is only a town away from me. So
yeah, I don't know, probably 70 miles across on my screen right now, centered on Cincinnati.
yeah,
And
there's quite a
lot
bit
of stations.
There's
there
a
are
lot of
none
stuff.
within a mile of me, which I was hoping that there would be a weather station really close.
The you'll see vehicles. They just look like cars. Sometimes you'll see fire trucks.
Yeah, but the car that I see is heading due north, so the wheels are north and south. And I was trying to figure out what the little red building with the triangular window at the top was.
Okay.
And little houses, yellow house with a green roof.
Yeah.
Shark RF open spot 4,
So
whatever that is. Oh no, that doesn't mean.
So the icons that are displayed are changeable. So if I could set a different icon up in this radio. I have it set up.
Neat.
Yeah. So actually this radio, if I'm sitting and I'm parked, it will put a diamond, a black diamond with a P, which means that I have been parked for more than 10 minutes or something like that. Otherwise, my icon will change to a car symbol. But if I'm driving a fire truck for whatever reason, I could change it to a fire truck symbol. I don't know why I would be driving a fire truck. But most people go with, the generic car, or, they've got a van icon and they've got a truck icon and they've got So they'll go with whatever the generic is for what they're driving. There's you'll see like red crosses, which usually mean that there's a hospital around. It's an information deal. You'll see the yellow houses are usually a home station. They might be a EOC station or some sort of weather station, because some people don't want to say that they're actually doing weather. They're doing something else. You might see like a blue handset phone handset
Mhm.
deal, which usually means that they are not using RF to do APRS. They're using a cell phone and coming in through the internet to do it.
That's very cool. Yeah, there's some guy with aprsdroid.org running on his phone
Yep. So
on old 74.
that's usually a blue icon with like a phone handset deal.
Mhm.
You can change that, but APRS Droid sets that up automatically. They want everybody to know you're using APRS Droid. So now there is a way to use APRS Droid tethered to a radio, so you don't really know if it's coming in via RF or if it's being coming in over the internet until you click on that icon. And then you should be able to click on the info button, and it should tell you what path it took to get there.
Yeah, it's showing the paths.
So like this guy that I just clicked on, he is using APRS Droid, but it looks like he actually got into some local digi repeaters. So he's probably using he's probably got it connected to a radio.
Oh, is that what the red dots on the path are?
Yeah, red dots could be how they got into the system, or the last time they got into the system. So I'm looking at a guy who obviously is getting into the system, but he is really far between red dots. So
Yeah, I was hoping to find something in maybe Cold Spring, Kentucky, because the weather they get in Cold Spring, I'm going to get in 20 minutes.
I'm sure that, well, there's definitely weather stations in Cincinnati. I'm sure you
Now,
could take.
where is Cold Springs, Kentucky?
So generally speaking, wind in this area goes from southwest to northeast. And if you draw a line going southwest from my place, it's about 15 miles
So it's
southwest.
down close to the airport then.
Yes, though a good bit further east.
I think this is probably the one you saw with all the red dots. So this is the path that he came in on.
That's a little too much information to.
I was going to say that's
Oh, you could find out all kinds of stuff. This But see this guy here, there's not a whole lot of red dots. And if I click on the info, you can still see he's been going for a while. He came in on at one point on the Middletown repeater. And there's a couple other repeaters that he hit. And because of the way the system works, if you have a home station, you can set it up to also be a digipeater. So it doesn't have to it doesn't necessarily have to go to a repeater. Like if there was a ham, you know, couple of streets over and they were doing APRS, I could definitely get into them and they could digipeat to a larger area and we could just keep repeating the signal out. I think the most I think the most recommended is 3 hops, and 3 hops should get you to a repeater.
Greetings.
How you doing?
Great. I have problems with my cameras. I have 2 cameras connected. So this is for experimenting, and the other one is for the meeting. And Windows always swap them. I don't know why. But okay, continue. Sorry.
You're all right. Life begins after what?
Coffee.
Coffee. Coffee.
Yeah, I concur with that one.
On the line.
It's a matter of getting the engine started, so to speak.
See over here, there's other things, but if you click on an icon, right, there's also the information thing.
Mhm.
You click on information, then up here at top, it'll go for this station, whatever this station is, but you could go and look at the raw packet. Oh, he's changed it. You used to be able to see that. Now you got to log in. So that if somebody sent this guy messages, you could see the messages. If somebody's sending bulletins, I think the bulletins are general for everybody, but you can see all the bulletins that have gotten sent. Winter storm in effect. That was 17 minutes ago. What?
Now that's Friday, it says. Wednesday to Friday. Okay.
Wednesday to Friday. Local time, Sandy, USA. He is nowhere near.
Yeah, Mount Hood Village is not local.
So there, somebody sent that guy messages though, and you can see somebody else. You can see where he acknowledged. So it's a little bit more than just a position deal. It is. There's quite a bit going on with how it works. It's also, you can set your radio up to listen to APRS, and set it up for like a voice link so that you could get information via APRS using a voice link, which is kind of interesting, how that works. And you can set it up if somebody wants to talk to somebody else, you could set it up so that all you have to do is hit a button and it will flip to the channel. At least most radios will flip to the channel that is encoded in the stream so that you can set up a simplex channel and talk to somebody. It's really neat how it works. And it's an old system. It's been around for a while. That's why sometimes they hams want to try to reinvent it, but it's been around for long enough and a bunch of people use it. It's hard to reinvent something that's like that. So. You got anything going on, Mr. Steve?
Nope.
Nope. What about what?
Mm.
Oh, what about you, Art?
Focus completely on my wife's health right now. So
Yeah, I
she
understand.
had a detailed MRI last week, and we found out that there's a lot of spinal deterioration, and unfortunately, there's not much you can do about that. You just have to live with it. And
Pain?
you know,
Do you have
pardon?
pain or do you have pain or?
I don't. She does.
Okay.
She has terrible pain.
Okay, so we get.
Okay, so I mean, we've been through this whole trip back to California has been focused on taking care of the pains that she has. She had something called occipital neuralgia, which was shooting pains up the back of the skull and across the top of the head. And then there's pain in the cervical spine, which is the part that's goes from, it's a 7 from the skull down the neck area.
7.
And, you know, it has been a fully occupying project, so to speak. And it is, you know, her family on her mother's side has something wrong in their genes. Let me put it that way. And
They have the same problem.
They basically, her mother had, her sister had, her cousins had, she had one cousin that had 5 hip replacements.
Wow.
So, you know, and he is no longer with us, but and she had an aunt who was basically bionic. I mean, she had shoulders, elbows, knees, hips. Getting her through a TSA at the airport must have been real exciting.
Wow.
You know, but the good news is that they have some things that they can do, like joint replacements and so forth. 50 years ago, I think you were just out of luck. But she's in a lot of discomfort, and we're still working on that. So, at any rate, not much technical going on here. at least not electronic technical
Yeah.
or programming technical. A lot of medical technical going on. Fortunately, we have good coverage and so forth and so on, so it's not debilitating financially, but it's debilitating pain-wise.
Yeah.
So at any rate, that's my story.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
thank you for sharing. Are you planning to come to Ohio to?
Well, we are scheduled for mid-April. We have flights booked, and so this is actually the second booking. The first booking was, I don't know, sometime back in November when we were more optimistic.
Yeah.
We rebooked for April thinking nothing can possibly happen that would delay that. And right now, we're dealing with, well, gee, how many more times can we delay it? Because the problem is, the way we've got it set up, if you delay the flight, you don't get the money back. You get credit, which you can apply
Or
on a
another
later
one.
flight.
Mhm.
But we're now looking at the fact that that privilege runs out in October, and basically you're just out of luck at that point. You just lose the money.
Lose your money.
So at any rate, so it's, it's one of those things where don't get old, okay? I think it's the solution to the problem.
Oh.
But
Old creeps up on everybody though.
yes, that is true. It's amazing. It seemed to me like,
Yeah.
just last week I was living on the East Coast and working at RCA. So the RCA hasn't even been in business as a separate company since 1981. So yeah, it creeps up on everybody.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I was routing PCB almost till midnight yesterday, and today all day.
Yeah.
I can share the something. Let me share where is share here. Share what? Yes.
Have you got sharing enabled?
It should be. There he goes.
Okay.
There's
Aha.
this is like a ruler size replica of Team 1, let's say 6502 microprocessor from the 70s.
Yep.
I almost finished every other routing. I was documenting something in the back of the board. All the stuff you can do, all the programs you can all those demo programs are inside the ruler, inside the microcontroller. This is a 6502 simulator using an AVR microcontroller. Everything works with a CR2032 battery. It has a real-time clock, so it can run for a year, and it has a crystal here for the clock.
You're saying it can run for a year on a single battery?
Yeah. But if you use it for a while every day, you can, because those LEDs use a lot of energy, but you can use with the same battery, you can use it maybe for a month in a daily basis for several minutes. You can check the battery pressing, let me see here. You have, this is an emulator of the original Team1, but I implemented a lot of functions. You see this key function, so you can make whatever. You can check the real-time clock. You can check the battery voltage. You can change the field behavior. It has a timeout to turn off again when you don't touch any key. And the timeout is controlled by the coffee, and you can edit the amount of coffee you want to use. So coffee is then the number of seconds that the board will stay on until go to sleep without touching anything. You can go from 0 seconds to 99 seconds.
Coffee keeps everything awake.
Yeah, exactly. So each time you press any key, it refills the cup of coffee. Actually, you change the size of the cup. I don't know if it's better to put cup instead of cup, but you can do a lot of stuff. I create copy and paste functions to copy memory areas of your program from one place to another. When you press function pro, you can choose these demo programs. Function pro, you can see the demo programs. A timer, a high-low game, Farmer Brown game, chess, clock. Asteroid is a game. Blackjack Bandit is a casino style machine. Wave and microchess. Microchess is 1K in size. It's the smallest chess program. This guy sold like, I don't remember, 5 million copies or something of this program in all the years from 1979 or something. It's really an assembly program that fit inside a 1K of RAM of memory. It's amazing that how it works. Okay, what one? This is in this address you have the disassembler of the microcontroller of the microprocessor. This assembler was designed by Steve Wozniak and was in the Apple I. This is the Wozniak monitor, microchips, but running in the serial port. There is a basic interpreter in the serial port. It's an integer basic. This is the audio cassette interface, is the code, but I didn't implement the cassette interface yet. And this is a mistake. I need to erase this. This This is number 6. It's already here.
hmm
But okay, when you press function init, you erase all the RAM and load several how you call this utilities to do some stuff with your program to move blocks. The same thing that I did with copy paste. The original Kim1 used this code in memory to do memory block mover and to change the relative jumpers in the code. And it updates several vectors also. When you power on or you press function init. Function init is here, function init. You can also turn off the ruler just pressing function off. Instead of wait for the coffee to run off coffee, you can just press function off. All the program is working. It's working in another design. Here, this is the version 2. I am working now in the version 3. I changed the position of the keys to have an array of 4 by 4 instead of 2 rows of 8 keys. Okay, and when you press a button, you have the program running. Each time you press this button is the function, and you can select any of the functions that this board doesn't have the labels of the functions, but they are working. The new board has the labels close to the buttons. Now the default timeout is 15 seconds. You stay for 50 seconds without touching, it will turn off. You can check the battery voltage with function 4. Let me put function 4. This is the voltage in millivolts of the battery. Now the battery is 3 volts usually, but it's going down.
Okay, so how much are you going to charge for these things?
I won't sell this. This is like a hobby. I am creating replicas of different computers, computer boards from the 70s. CIDA 80, 6502, the Kimban 1. Maybe I do also the 1802. Maybe I design a book and put the ruler in the back of the book in a hole, so you can have all the stuff together.
So do you have the version 3 available?
This is the version 2. I have the version 1.
Yeah.
Version 1. Version 2. And the version 3, I will order the version 3 tonight to a PCB factory. There is a LED here that flashes twice every 10 seconds. If it starts flashing once, every 10 seconds, you must change the battery. It's
Okay.
warning you that the battery is under 2.4 volts. So everything can work until 1.8 volts or so, but the display will be too dim, so it's a great idea to change this thing had been. This is depleted. It's not working.
So how long will it take you to get the version 3 boards once you order them?
Usually it's a week, 6,
Oh.
7 days.
Not bad.
And the minimum order is like five PCBs. I order also a stencil, Stanley steel stencil to screen the solder paste for the surface components. Another thing that you can do is connect expansion boards in the I2C port. So you can replicate the I/O of the original board, the ports, the I/O ports, parallel ports of the original board. This is like a hobby. Yes.
So you're ordering the boards in China or here?
In China. I sometimes I order from how's the name? The purple boards from Osha Park. But they usually are, the quality is not as good as the China quality. The price is more expensive and you must wait like 3 or 4 days more. So there is no reason to use this supplier, you know. I used to order from 2 suppliers in China, and both are the same quality, same prices, and they are really fast. The idea, the shipping, this board may cost $5 or $10 for 5 of them, but the shipping used to be $18. The shipping is more expensive than the board itself. So I have a couple of boards, additional boards to order together because the shipping is the main cost of the order. So you can consolidate three different models in an order using the same shipping price.
So the shipping is a flat rate independent of how many boards you order?
No, if you pass a pound or something, the price change. But you can have 3 or 4 models without go over the weight limit, you know. So I can share how it looks, the design. Let me put this in another screen. Share screen. You see this is the editor. Okay. So
okay.
you have you do the schematic, and there is a rule checking, a net list check to be sure that you have all the connections done, you can press any point and see all the connected parts. This is the microcontroller. You see the path of the microcontroller pass through. You can see the root in the board, how it goes, touching all the points that you need to access. This is the displays. Usually you try to put all the lines in the same direction in one layer and the other direction in the other layer, okay? The difference is here in the displays. I changed this rule. I changed the blues vertical and red horizontal, but the rest of the board used to be red vertical and blue horizontal. So you can go anywhere moving rectangular shapes, horizontal down, continue horizontal. You can turn on and off any mask. I will turn off the seal screen. This is both seal screens are off. You can turn on and off the ground plane. This is the ground plane. Almost all the board in the back is a single plane of ground. On and off
How many layer board is it?
two layers. This program is free. I love it. It's really nice. It's KiCad is the name.
It's got to be at least 3 layers.
What?
It's got to be at least 3 layers. You've got a ground plane layer.
No, but my ground plane is in the same layer that the lines, you know. It automatically goes everywhere trying to cover all the empty spaces. And you have rules for the distance between your connections and the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Let show you this layer. Okay. You see how the copper goes around everything, but
Mm-hmm.
there is a rule that you can establish the minimum distance between your plane and your lines. See? This is the ground plane in the top, and you can see the ground plane in the bottom.
Impressive.
Yep.
And turn on and off everything. Yeah. But this is one step after another, you know. You end with this, but looks complex, but it's a matter of patience, you know, going one thing after another. When I rotate the keys, the version 3 is all the keys rearranged. I try to connect them just randomly and was a real mesh. So I erase everything and and did again all the lines, horizontal and vertical new lines to make it more clean.
So this has built-in design rule checks, basically.
Yeah, it has the rule checking. You can change rules, distance, minimum distances. You can change. You can define this orange thing is the distance between the solder mask and the pad.
Okay.
Okay, you can change this. You can usually the solder mask is over the pad a little bit just to keep the paste inside the pad. Yes. And the good thing, you don't pay more for more holes in the board. You don't pay more for the shape of your board. You can make a flower or whatever you want. You pay the same. You need to check in the web for every single piece of the board. You know, for example, this is a battery holder and a battery, and they are both part of a component. You can check for properties, and you will see 3D model, and you see the metal part of the whole battery holder and the battery, and you have one 3D model for each part, and you move the part until it fits the drawing in the board. You can turn on and off each part. You can turn on the battery holder, and move all the parts. If you don't have the part, you can pay like $3 for anyone in the web that they used to design these parts, so they can make a custom part for you for $2-3. It's a service in the web. So if you have a very strange part you want to put in your design, you design a 3D part in your CAD for your 3D printer, you can put the part in this drawing and see how it looks connected to your PCB. You can design a box for a plastic box, and you can put the box in this PCB designer and see how it looks inside your box, your box. This is the place I was last week. California. Okay, this is the. I have this component selected in the other part of the program. I need to deselect it and go back to. Now, let's change the color one. This is a fuse that can open if you have a short or something in your board. 500 milliamps fuse from the USB connector. If you connect a battery or a USB port, the coffee stop working. You don't need to go to sleep, so it stay on all the time. This is the circuit to read the voltage and to switch between battery and USB.
Is your battery rechargeable?
No, no.
No.
I thought about it, but the rechargeable used to have like 25% of the energy of the non-rechargeable. So I rather want to have a spare battery
Yeah.
and to walk around with my stuff without trying to charge it every day. So I thought about that, but I'd rather have my $1 battery,
Yeah.
long lasting.
What are those 3.3 volts?
The battery has 3 volts.
3 volts. Okay.
Yeah, this is nominal because when you insert it new, you used to have like 3.3, 3.35, but it's 3 volts nominal. I invented this candy circuits thing, it's not real, it's not a real web page, but I really have the domain for 3 years or so. I created the domain just in case of. Maybe in the future, someone will be interested in to sell this thing. Maybe I just maybe license it or something. I don't know. I have too many ideas and projects pending, so
Yes. You never stop with your ideas, do you?
yeah, no,
Your ideas just keep going and going.
yeah, I have hundreds of boxes with ideas and
Yeah.
let me show you another project I was working on. Off. This is a picture. That's why we have to. There is another board that I will send tonight. Let me show you. Okay. This is another one. Let me show you the 3D view, 3D view. This is the a 1602, 1802 microprocessor, also one of the first microprocessors. And here I am simulating the memory of the microprocessor. And simultaneously, I am driving a monitor to show the memory or whatever. This is another simulator of an old CPU. This is the CPD 1802. This is through hole, see, all the components. You can check everything, almost everything before ordering your board and check that everything will fit. You see? of course, I have this circuit working in a breadboard, and all the program is working also. This is like the final thing, you know, to package everything together. I will show this in another meeting when I have the board physical, and to show how it works. Okay.
So you don't have these boards yet?
No, this is I made this several weeks ago, but I want to have several boards to order them together, you know, because the shipping cost. This LED is transparent, you see? You almost can see through it. This board is a USB to serial connector to serial board adapter, and the microprocessor used bit banging to create a serial communication. So there is no word in this microprocessor. It's just a CPU, and you have the memory emulator outside, RAM and ROM. I am using a modern microcontroller, fast microcontroller. The microcontroller check the address lines and the control lines to feed the microprocessor with data depending on what address it is accessing. And I am doing this in assembler code to do it faster. So you can run this microprocessor at 3.5 megahertz. And the other one can check the lines of control, the control lines, to act like a memory device, external memory stuff, different ROM, RAM, etc. These lines here are the serial channel of this board. So another option. I put all the pins of the microcontroller are here, so you can practically connect anything from a breadboard to your microcontroller to your microprocessor. This is not a microcontroller. This is a microcontroller. This is just a CPU with the program counters and address line control. So this is another project. Boring.
Cool. My little 7-inch touchscreen showed up.
Oh, what happened? It's broken? No.
No. Ordered that off of Amazon for $40.
Okay, it's a plastic
Yeah,
protector.
there's a
Yeah.
3D printed case.
Yeah.
I printed a little too small, and I had to really work it to get it in there.
Oh, nice case.
But it fit. It came with the feet. The feet are not 3D printed, which I thought was odd. You 3D print the case, but you but not the feet. So if you buy this, Steve,
Mhm.
and you 3D print it, go like, I don't know, 0.5%, just a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Okay.
You change the scale a
Yeah,
little bit.
I mean, it's just barely too small,
Yeah.
just barely. And it's only too small in, this direction, whatever this would be. However you lay it out on your thing, whatever this would be.
So the other direction fits as is?
It's tight, but yeah, it went right in. It's the real problem, as I finally figured out, the USB ports and the HDMI port are actually sticking off of the PCB just enough to cause problems. And once you finally get them to line up and go in here, I was able to finally get it to press down. But if you notice, there's a brightness switch in here, and it's probably hard to see, but there's a brightness switch. It's not where it belongs. It's still not quite far enough down into the case to actually hit the brightness switch the way it should be. But I think, if I had just extended it out just a hair, it would have slid in there nice and easy.
It's in Amazon.
I got this. Yeah. Let me, hang on. Let me, pull up my Amazon orders. I shared it last week before we actually decided that I was going to buy it. I put it in the chat. When Steve pointed out that it had speakers on it, I was like, "Yep, I'm buying it." So $40. It took. I went with the free shipping option. I'm not a Prime member, so it took 3 or 4 days to get here, but it got here.
I have Monday delivery.
Do what?
My browser, because I have the Prime thing, it's a free delivery Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, see, mine says free delivery Tuesday if I order it again. So
Mine says free delivery tomorrow if I order within 5 hours.
well, you're right next to the
close to
you're
the
right next to
warehouse.
the hub then.
Yes. In the hub.
You're down closer to the warehouse.
Yeah, I guess.
No,
I'm
buying-
real curious what the special feature is.
There is this is delivery to Stanford, to my daughter. This is in California. I need to change the delivery thing.
Mine came from Vandalia. Mine was flown from somewhere
let
else
me-
and
let
came
me
to
add-
Vandalia.
Let me add to cart and see.
But what I was going to say, though, not only is the case a little bit small, so I tried it with my Amazon Fire Stick, and it booted up, and then it went wonky on me, and I couldn't see anything. So I was like, okay, it just doesn't like the Amazon Fire Stick, just doesn't like the size of the screen or something. It worked fine with this though. So
Yeah, it say tomorrow, delivery tomorrow.
this Intel stick that I'm running Ubuntu or Linux Mint on worked just fine, except part of the lower part of some of the windows got cut off, but it was easy enough to deal with. So, it's got a real, the speakers sound really good for what they are. So, no, they do. They sound really good. They're not bad speakers. And other than the case being a little bit too small, I'm really happy with it. It's sitting right under my monitor right now, and it's works just fine. So
Does the touch work?
I haven't tried the
With
touch
Linux.
yet. I haven't tried the touch yet. I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't tried the touch yet. I don't know why it wouldn't work. I mean, especially since it was meant for the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it wouldn't work.
I was just curious if you're using it as a second monitor, if
It messes
the
with.
left half is your primary monitor and the right half is that thing. And it just scaled.
I had that problem once. I had one monitor that wasn't a touch monitor and one monitor that was. And the way Linux did it, it tried to make the entire thing a touch monitor. So if I would touch in the center here, it would do something over on this screen, where I wasn't touching. And what I had to do was had to use X input and specifically tell it this was the touch monitor. So
Cool.
if something like that, if it's going to be something like that, then I think it should be easy enough to fix. You just specifically tell it, this is the touch monitor. Don't mess with me. This is it. Yeah, I actually had two monitors that had touch built into them at one point, and it did really funky things until I told X input to separate the two monitors.
Mhm.
So I think it would work, but it might need a little coaxing. They give you instructions on how to make it work with the Raspberry Pi. It comes with like a weird adapter thing that does plug into the HDMI port on the Raspberry Pi, but it's using a different setup on the board. So they're not using the HDMI connector on the board if you're going to use the Raspberry Pi. They also give you like 3 or 4 different cases to choose from, depending upon what your application is going to be. And they all seem like I printed the one for the Raspberry Pi, and it seemed like it was a little bit small too. So, but that's just been my experience with it so far. I've only had it a few days. And I was playing around with weird little googly eyes.
Cool.
What?
That's going to be my desktop pet.
Okay.
He's going to sit there and chirp and make weird noises. And I think this one's got the MPU, so when I pick it up, it'll change its look. It's creepy.
Did it blink?
Yeah,
Now I saw it.
Cool.
yeah. Right now, it just shifts the dies back and forth and blinks, and the blinks are kind of random. And for some, this controller must not use enough power to keep the battery alive, because it will shut off, just like it did.
Nice.
So those are fun toys that I've been playing with, and I've got nothing else.
I have a question. I need a Linux friendly printer, desktop printer.
Brother.
Pardon?
Pretty much any Brother printer.
Brother.
Okay.
You want laser or inkjet?
Probably inkjet would be fine.
Matrix.
Really? I'd do laser, but I mean, if you don't need color, laser's the way to go.
Okay. But any Brother, I've got a Brother here and I cannot get it to talk to any of the Linux machines on my, it's an ancient Brother, but it is nonetheless, I'm having difficulty getting to talk to any of my Linux machines.
Do you need it on a network, or do you need it just
I
a
prefer it
single
on a
machine?
network. I prefer it on a network simply because that way we can share it easily. If I put it on a specific machine, yeah, that'll work.
You
Yeah,
could
I mean, you're going to be running cups anyway, so it will end up being shared.
you
What's
could
the
share.
Brother you've got? Do you know the number?
Well, let's see.
Because I've been using Brother printers since an HL 1440, which they stopped making in 97.
Just a moment. It is an MFC 8480 DN.
So duplex and network.
It is not wireless at all, as far as I know.
That's no problem. One of the things I like about Brothers, they've really only got like 10 engines they use and 10 sets of cartridges, and they keep reusing them. So you tend to always be able to go back and get cartridges for them because, oh, they just introduced another one that uses the same cartridge.
You know what's really weird? I just put a couple more things in the chat window, but it's saying that I am Steve in the chat window.
What?
Really?
No. Presenter. Meeting presenter to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, it said Steve, send it to everyone. Okay, whatever. You guys, maybe there's a weird bug with with
Yeah.
this side.
So I went to support.brother.com and
Right.
it has Linux drivers for that. It asks, do you want RPMs or DEBs? And usually they have a script. You just run the script. It goes out and it downloads everything. I have had amazingly good luck. Yeah, they have a driver install tool for that printer.
Hmm.
That Canon that I put a link to, same way
This account belongs to Steve, right? The Zoom meeting
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe some part.
I don't
The
know. It's
software,
just
yeah.
it's just kind of weird. But that link to the Canon that I put, that is
Yeah.
a laser printer. It is a network laser printer. It's a duplexing laser printer. And they've got the setup tool and the drivers for Linux. So
So
there's some options.
what you just put in the chat, Steve, is the drivers?
Yes. But what you want is the driver install tool. I wouldn't download the individual tools. I would just do that script that goes out and downloads it. Now it
Yep.
does some funky stuff. I would do the install on a different machine first to make sure it works right. Or a VM, because it forces 386 drivers and weirdness. But I have installed drivers for probably 24 different brother printers, and they've all just worked.
So you're talking about the driver install tool?
Yep.
Okay.
And it sets up the scanner. I
It's got a
use,
scanner.
what do I use? Scan to PDF. Yeah. And it sets up the drivers for Xsane. Scan to PDF uses those same drivers. So I can go to any machine on the network, start up Gscan to PDF, and scan off of the glass, scan off of the document feeder. I can set it up. It uses, oh shoot, let me see if it's in here. The scan key tool that it lists there, I can set it up on the scanner itself so that my computer name shows up as a thing to scan to. So I walk up to the printer, put in 20 pages and say scan to Nook, and it'll dump it onto my Nook.
Okay. All right, well, clearly I'm doing something wrong, or something has gone wrong with the hardware on the printer. Because I used to be able to print out through that, and then all of a sudden it stopped. And I thought it was when I did an upgrade on Ubuntu, but
I have had to do a reinstall after a version upgrade in Ubuntu, going from like 16 to 18. I had to reinstall the scanner driver after that, because part of the upgrade removes any software that isn't in the current repositories, and it installs i386 stuff, which isn't in the current Ubuntu repositories.
Okay. Well, let me fool with it, and I'll give you a report next week.
Okay. But that said, if it's getting an IP address on your network, get the IP. When you run the scan tool, it asks for the URI, which is the IP address and the model name, so it downloads the right drivers. I think it expects those to be all caps, and it doesn't do a good job of sanitizing input. If you give it something wrong, it doesn't say, oh, wait, did you mean, or we're going to start over. It just says, okay, we'll work with that, and fail.
Until it fails.
All right.
But
it only asks like 5 or 6 questions, I think, to set up everything.
Yeah. The
Okay.
Canon that I got it from a thrift store. Now, I didn't pay very much for it. It's a Wi-Fi network, but I had to plug it in to the Ethernet port. No, I had to plug it into the USB port to actually set it up the first time for Wi-Fi.
Okay.
But once it got on Wi-Fi, every machine that I've got saw it and grabbed the drivers and knew what to do with it. So
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I like it, and I was quite happy that I only paid like $5 or $6 for this thing, and that it had Linux support. I mean, yeah, Linux support was a big deal because I actually Googled it before I bought it, because I was like, I am not buying a printer if it doesn't support Linux, network or
for
not.
$5.
I'm cheap. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I think we've established that, Leroy.
But yeah, I've actually been very, very happy with it. It's the duplexing part of it is really cool. You watch it suck the paper back in and flip it over and print on the other side. So I don't think you could go wrong either way you go. I know Brother has good support for their printers now too.
Okay.
So,
Well, I may
You've
not
already
have,
got the brother.
and he's already got the Brother. If he can
well,
get
yeah.
it to work.
I'm not sure I reinstalled the drivers after various upgrades I've done, so that may be the problem.
Yeah.
There's also an uninstall option to that driver install tool. So you may want to uninstall first and then reinstall.
Okay.
I don't think that the Canon installed the X 386 stuff. I think it installed straight up, X64 stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that though, but I didn't have any problem with it on either one of these modern machines that I'm running. So, and it's been going fine.
Okay.
So, we will be in person next week
Yes, wait.
at the
Yay.
library. So,
Okay.
otherwise, everybody have a great day, because it's 7
Yes.
o'clock.
Everybody,
Yes.
And it's time for dinner.
Yep.
I'll see you guys later.
Let's eat.
I'll
Good night.
see you
Take
guys
care.
later. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.